สวัสดีครับ My name is พิสิทธิ์กำบังฮะ My fighting name Phet-tho Sitjaopho My friend call me F but student call me Kru F ครับ
Tell me about yourself. Where were you born?
I'm born in หัวหินฮะครับผม
Tell me about your family. So most people know that you have a twin brother, but do you have any other siblings?
One sister ฮะ but different like mom ครับ My dad before when I was young he do a taxi driver mom ก็ cook sell the food ครับ
So, I want to ask you a little bit about you and your brother. He's not just your brother, but he's your twin brother.
ครับ yes
And
twin
then
brother
both of you guys did Muay Thai. So what was it like growing up with a twin brother who did Muay Thai with you?
My cousin he did the Muay Thaiฮะ so and then after he fight and then he think like he not go well on this so he start to teach me and my brother we first time we don't think about to fight or serious about the Muay Thai but and then one day have the school festival okay why not so we just try to match up there it's about maybe when I was about 8 to 9 years old it's about 21 kilo so small so that is the first we start to do Muay Thai he start before me he fight about maybe 4-5 times and then I'm start after
Who is older?
him about 5 or 15 minutes I'm not sure
And then growing up, did he act like an older brother?
No, never. He never act like he older brother. So more it's like a friend or like a very close friend. I know how he feel and he know how I feel. I know his mindset and he know his mindset. So like the energy almost the same ครับผม yeah.
And growing up with your brother, before you did Muay Thai, were you guys always very close?
Very close ครับ and always play together and not so much friend ครับ most of the time when we was young we like to play Chinese kung fu like in long time ago I like to watching like Chinese movie kung fu and then after watch we just do like like playing
And did you guys watch Muay Thai growing up?
Which when start Muay Thai not yet to like start to watching or learning about but after I fight maybe 10 times and then I'm thinking like okay I want to be serious and also I'm stay with uncle and aunts because my family is like not together all the thing is uncle is control my life ครับผม and my brother life so we have to listen him so even like sometimes feel like I want to play with same with another boy but cannot have to do like Muay Thai yeah so and then when I know like okay I want to be serious in Muay Thai and then I start to learn and then watching and have the inspire or like a motivation for push myself to improve in Muay Thai ครับผม
And who are some of these fighters that inspired you?
all the golden era ครับผม yeah.
Do you have any favorite fighters?
Yeah, have like เขาเรียกหาดวังจันน้อยกันสัก all the golden era หนึ่งอุบลyeah like บุญหลายลำน้ำมูลall the I grow up with that time I learn a lot from that time because they are my motivation to put my Muay Thai like a grow ครับผม
How many hours did you train a day?
Before it's hard to train in the morning because I have to go to the school แต่ว่า but after school I have to go back to home and then change uniform to be like a Muay Thai short t-shirt and then running shoes and then running ก็ about from 4 o'clock to about almost 7 been training like this almost like more than 10 years ครับผม
Yeah, 10 years, 3 hours a day.
ครับผม
You and your brother.
ครับผม yes.
And how many times a month would you fight?
When I was young, so like most of the time many fight because sometimes like 1 month 2 times. When was young, you need to gain experience, So my dream, my goal is biggest stadium, Bangkok and Lumpini and Ratchadamnern. Before Ratchadamnern and Lumpini, not easy to fight there. Not easy because why? In that time, if someone come to tell me I fight in Bangkok, I fight in Lumpini and Ratchadamnern, like oh wow, because people know like when in Lumpini and Ratchadamnern it's about another level. So when we was young, we just like our weight is not like for the Lumpini yet, so we just like keep make the experience, gain experience while fighting everywhere in Thailand ฮะ South North you know everywhere we fight ก็ one month 2 time ฮะ yeah but when we go to Bangkok I think 1 month 1 time and also when was young in about 11 year old 12 year old I remember I fight tonight and then next day go to school and then they come to pick me up to fight again the gambler yeah because they want to gambling me so they just like a hiding you know like a hiding like a fight with someone can say like a cheating แหละ
yeah and so when you and your brother started training Muay Thai your cousin teach you first
ครับผม
when did you guys go to Sitjaopho
Sitjaopho is from the family
oh
yeah
so
Sitjaopho is from the uncle and aunts and cousin it start from the Muay Thai family
yeah okay so Sitjaopho is your family
ใช่ฮะ yes never with the author or owner because Sitjaopho is like a start with the Muay Thai family ฮะครับ
yeah so that's pretty interesting because you know a lot of other fighters when they fight they go to a camp but you and your brother within the same family
ใช่ฮะ same family ฮะ
yeah so your whole career always with
ใช่ yes ครับผมใช่ฮะ
very cool so you know growing up you know you did a lot of fighting how do you think you develop your style
I like Muay Femur because when I was young most I do like a control sparring you know without chin guard with chin guard practice like this most of the time and then when you practice you know like this and then you become like a good in the timing and then also sometimes you want to be good in the technique and then when you like Muay when you watching Muay Femur it's more like you want to be you knowก็ just like a start from the practice like a sparring and then become like a Muay ฝีมือครับผม
so you develop your style just from your controlled sparring
ใช่
and
ฮะ
also watching the Muay Femur
ใช่ it's very important ฮะ watching Muay Femur but the most important is about like a training ครับผม training like you know timing counter attack
and do you think your brother was the same way where he's like oh man I really like the Muay Femur and that's why he trained that way and that's why because you guys trained with each other you guys became so good Muay Femur you think that's why
yes it's the same thing and it's the same way because my partner training is the most in my life is my brother so we are sparring like a Muay Femur and also sometimes when we sparring like a technical or Muay Femur what we training that is like how we fight in the ring you know how that is like our fight style yeah
so you know you and your brother styles very similar right
yeah
but how do you think you and your brother are different
about kicking because I'm left front left kick you know he right kick most of the time it's about the clinching and timing and counter attack almost like exactly the same ครับผม only like a key kick he right kick and left cut yeah
okay and how about when it comes to the approach to training do you think he's the same you know he likes to train the same way you do
ใช่ฮะ yeah because when we training Muay Thai we don't need anything much we know like what we do you know like okay today come okay pad work back work sparring boxing sparring we don't need anyone tell
when you guys were growing up were you guys like competitive you know like playful competitive like oh I'm gonna be better than you or he's I'm gonna be better than you like playful competitive
never in my mind I'm never think like that with brother or I think and he never think like that too just only when sometime when we fight at the same fight I don't want to watch I don't want to watch him fight and sometimes he don't want to watch me fight you know when we fight in the same day because sometimes very exciting when see the brother fight and very nervous you feel like you fight you know
how many fights have you had total
I think I try to start but some fighter 200 they say like 100 250 300 400 but I try to count sit and count I think for me about 200 or more than 200 a little bit allow this ครับผม because I think in when I go to fight in Lumpini or Bangkok not so much as the same when I was young because when was young fight so many you know like a fight that's why like because of the weight weight like a small and then have to make experience before like I said like I tell you before Lumpini and Ratchadamnern is really big stadium before so you have to be good to for the biggest stadium ครับผม yeah
Kru F, did you ever get to fight at Rajadamnern and Lumpini?
yeah I fight both stadium ครับผม
What weight?
I fight start from the 100 pound to 130 pound ฮะ
Do you remember what the feeling like? You know, first time you fight at Rajadamern and Lumpini?
All the life that is like the first start Muay Thai I don't know or I don't really like I love Muay Thai or not or I like Muay Thai or not but every time when I'm training and think about I think it's my dream is biggest stadium only biggest stadium and one day my aunt is my manager she got call from the promoter you know Wan Song Chai so and then tell me like you fight in Lumpini that when hear like this it's like a really happy you know really happy like oh now my time is like come you know yeah so really happy ครับผม to fight in the biggest stadium
and Kru F out of your 200 plus fights
ครับ
which one do you remember the most
the most member ก็ only one thing ก็ Thai ed very Thai ed ก็ sometimes not when fighting the pain is not so much more like sometimes every fight ก็ hard fight some fight ก็ easy fight in 100 time maybe knock out 4-5 or something like that yeah but most of like I win by like a decision like a score ครับผม because that is my style it's about counter attack and protect the score ครับผม
Did you ever compete anything outside of Muay Thai like kickboxing or boxing?
Only like amateur boxing. My brother very good in amateur boxing. One time he fight in the Thailand championship, you know. So and then the coach Thailand saw him and then want to take him to fight like for the Thai national. Yeah, but that time is our Muay Thai is like a peak, so we decide to fight Muay Thai.
Stick with Muay Thai.
ครับผม
At which point did you decide to start slowing down, retire, and maybe become more coach?
When I was about 30 years old, so it's last fight I broke my arm at Rajadamnern Stadium. That time go okay. I know that my time and my body is not is like a finish, you know, for Muay Thai. Then go become like start to think about to make the gym and do some coach or teaching.
Well, actually, after you retired, did you start coaching right away, or you retired and you tried doing some other jobs?
After retire, I do the newspaper work, like work in the office with the machine and send the newspaper ครับผม yeah that's it so don't think about to planning to make the gym yet yeah but sometimes it's work in the office sometimes we go you know sometimes think about to because we grow up with Muay Thai and want to do something and then that time Muay Thai it just start to be like many foreigner you know like come to train Muay Thai so and then maybe okay we start the gym ครับผม
What year did you start the gym?
2010 or 2011 I'm not sure about this ครับผม
And did you start it here?
Yes ครับผม
So tell me about your gym because that's your house, right?
Brother house ครับ
Your brother house, yeah. And then so you decided to start the gym outside of your house. You and your brother?
Yes ครับ It's this idea with me and my brother ครับผม
Yeah. And then so when you first started it, was it just you and your brother? Did you have any other trainers?
Me and my brother and cooking. That's it. Before Sitjaopho ก็ have like a ครูหิน When I'm retired, my brother retired, so the gym ก็ everyone ก็ just separate like not like just go. So and then one day I make the gym. I cooking ก็ go to find the job and his work and then one day I start to talk with cooking. Okay, maybe you can come to help me in the gym for like start to gym again ครับผม
And how long have you known Kru Kling?
That is when I was about maybe 14 years old cooking the first trainer that is hold pad for me is my cousin and he is my pad holding and my corner man you know like always like a corner and after that when he not hold pad for me and then cooking you know holding pad for me and my brother
So you know him for a long time
ครับ long time
And he was your pad holder your main trainer almost
ใช่ฮะ yeah before ครับ main trainer for pad holder
And then so in around 2010 you your brother Kru Kling opened up this gym
ครับ
Sitjaopho,
ครับ
right? Continue the family name.
ครับ
So when you first opened the gym, social media wasn't that big. How did you find students?
We just we just do what we can ก็ just upload some video and with that time I don't know much about the social media the most important form is about the people know Sitjaopho is about like a social media like sporting video or pet work that is people like to want to copy about the style ครับผม that is about the style ฝีมือ you know yeah.
What do you think is your teaching style?
My teaching style for sure I want the student to be good but sometimes it's hard because like people different about the understanding I try to put like my experience how I feeling when I'm fighting or about the style that I use or about the style that I fight in the ring I try to teach them and tell them about this ครับผม
For you what is your approach when you train Muay Thai and when you fight?
I say I'm young. Sometimes when you stay like I want to go play same like author kid, author boy, but cannot because of the Muay Thai. And also like the uncle, you know, keep focus and keep like if not train, got you know, hitting. Sometimes when was young, you know, like I'm thinking, why I have to do this all the time. But now finally I know all the uncle teach until like it's become like now yeah this is very good ครับผม so but when I was kid and fighting I just respond my routine and training just do my best in training running kick pad try push the you know power speed do everything ครับผม yeah and fighting ครับ
And one thing that's special about Sitjaopho is that most of your students travel here. Do you think there's a reason why so many of your students are, you know, foreigners rather than locals?
More is like the foreigner students. So I think because of like I say social media, because about the style Muay Femur, that's why they come here ครับผม
Some people stay here for like a couple weeks. Some people stay here for a couple months, maybe a year.
ครับ
You know, when you think about it, it's not a long time, right? Like you train with the same place for like 15, 20 years,
ครับ
right? So because, you know, your students don't come here for so long, what's the most important thing you want them to learn when they are here?
Okay, focus and concentrate in training. Try to watch the fight and make understand. And the last one, fighting. This is if you want to be success, training, fighting, you know, responsibility or like have the discipline, you know, training, fighting. Because you do Muay Thai is fighting and training. Sense is about your sense, you know, about the ability ครับผม yeah. If you have good sense or you understand or everything, maybe it's fast to improve and can be like a very fast successful ครับ I want the student to make understand with the Muay Thai about like asking the trainer because some people come they don't exactly know about the style and game plan or anything but I want them to ask the trainer and then okay and make understand you know yeah, not just like come and then do without like don't know or without the or with the same habit you know yeah this is a very important about the understanding yeah.
Do you think it's easier to be a fighter now than before?
Now more easy. Before you must strong in the mental discipline and you know have to fight maybe almost 100 times and then you can go to bigger stadium because no social media no connection anything you have to show your ability to the promoter and then they okay they like make you to take you to the bigger stadium ครับผม so I think and this time I think now you fight maybe 35, 45, and then you can fight bigger stadium. But before no, take so much, many years to fight the bigger stadium. And also now social media is become to be like you know popular or famous ครับผม
What was the hardest part about being a Muay Thai fighter?
The training wake up early morning training afternoon sleep in the day wake up in the afternoon you know like this every 15 years, 20 years, I think that is it's hard. Like you stay with this like a long time, you know, and sometimes, and not just only like but you have to work too, you have to learn too, you know. This is the I think for me it's very hard, you know, to to be fighter ฮะ you need to be strong and you know in the mental นะฮะครับ
You know, I know that you're a very devoted Buddhist, and you know you have like a certain view of life. Have you ever taken that, you know, your approach, your ideals with Buddhism and applied that towards training in Muay Thai?
Sure. Before when was young or was fighting, I just do by the national of the life and national of the mind, you know, because when you was young, you not understand, you just take the emotional, maybe happy or maybe sometimes like you suffering or you know you not happy, and then you just feel like or like sad, you know. But now if you but that is me, you know, do what I want. Okay, good. แต่ว่า sometimes is don't without thinking, you know, without like learning and thinking, just do. That's why I say like it's lucky that I'm not die when was the teenager, because the most of the teenager is about do something like without like thinking, you know. It's very careless, you know. Yeah. For the Buddhism, that is about in Muay Thai, it's about like just let it be. Whatever you win or you lost. But before when was young, don't know about the Buddhism, just like, oh, why I'm lost. Oh, as I said. But now that okay, fight is fight. Some people like before fight very nervous, very exciting. I know I was that before, but without understanding. But when understanding, oh, okay, this is like why you have to be like nervous or anything. You just do your best, you know. That's it. And then win or lose go about is author, you know. But if you do good, you go win. If you do not good, lost ก็ไม่เป็นไร no problem.
No problem.
Life ก็ still keep going, you know.
How do you want to see Sitjaopho continue to grow?
I'm not expect about the Sitjaopho to be the goal. I just do best in the moment นะฮะครับผมไม่ได้ not dreaming. If it's big ก็ big. If it's not big ก็ just keep do like this ฮะ to be like keep do the best ครับผม
What makes you the proudest as a coach?
When see the student, when I see the student like improve or like do the good job or do the good fight when training or Thai ed, but when see this and saw them like doing good or improve, you know, sometimes feel like okay, no Thai ed, you know, because like okay, like this what I want, you know.
Something that's very unique to you that I don't see a lot of other head coaches do is that you take the time to spar with almost all your students that come here. Why is that?
Why ล่ะฮะก็ because they come here they go want to sparring with me ฮะ yes and also but I know I cannot take care of everyone, you know, because I'm sparring one day almost 20 rounds almost morning and afternoon ฮะ like together almost 20 rounds. Some day some week more ฮะ. This is like each day, you know, because like I try to spar with them, you know, like I now 42 years old, you know, I'm not strong same before, you know, yeah. So I try to enjoy about with the student ครับผม I'm happy to sparring and แต่ว่า but when sparring please don't messy นะ เพราะว่าI want to spar with you, you know, แต่ว่า but ถ้า you messy I'm afraid to hurt myself, you know. Maybe not good, but I will say like I'm not take so much private training because sometimes like too many messy or I'm afraid of the injury and then I cannot sparring more, you know. Yeah. So you have the rhythm or style, if you want to learning, you know, because I think normally Muay Thai is not difficult or hard to become improve or good. Understanding the rhythm, counter attack, block, defense. Don't be rush or don't be hurry. You know, okay. Sometimes can be rush, can be fast on the shot. But not like a messy or like a rushing. You know, yeah. That is how I'm training with my brother. You know, yeah. We take more time with the control sparring to learn about the good habit. And then become like a good style and learn everything ครับผม yeah. That I want the student to understand about the sparring, you know. I know maybe now they have the social media and they learn a lot many styles that you not see in Muay Thai. แต่ว่า but if about the Muay Thai is about the rhythm timing, you know, that is very important for Muay Thai ครับผม
And Kru F, my last question. Why do you love Muay Thai?
love I don't know I'm love or not แต่ว่า when I'm not trained Muay Thai or not sparring sometimes I want to kick something you know I want to sparring I don't know it's love or not maybe it's like a I like Muay Thai sometimes this is normal no sometimes ก็ Thai 8 but I then break today want to sparring kick someone นะ Muay Thai mean my life living family and job work and life I'm born with this you know like start with from the young you know yeah and now until ก็ 42 year old ก็ only with Muay Thai or maybe finally ก็ don't know anything maybe die with Muay Thai ก็ได้ สวัสดีครับ I'm พิสิทธิ์กำบังฮะ so thank you for like watching my story ครับ hope you enjoy ครับผม thank you very much ขอบคุณครับ